Alright, so I want to make a video about what it's like to actually grow long hair as a man, because I feel like this topic is very underdeveloped. Not many people talk about this, and I've seen the occasional time-lapse, where people will record their time-lapse journey of growing long hair. But I've, been growing long hair for a while. As you can see here, I have a very nice man bun, and I just want to talk about it, because I feel like this needs to be said. And here's what I want to say mainly. There's a lot of stigma in the environment and in society today about long hair on men, and I think that firstly it's nonsense. I think if you want to grow long hair you can, but secondly I just want to share my experiences and journey with growing long hair, because it's not been an easy journey. So here's what happened at the start. So when I first started growing long hair, obviously it was a buzz cut. I was growing it from very, very short hair. I used to cut my own hair and give myself a fade. So it was a very short hairstyle, and I went from that. I didn't cut it once until a year later, and even now I haven't cut it since. So basically I haven't cut my hair for a year and a half, and this is the result. And I'll show in a minute, I'll show you the full length of it. But as you can see, it's very long, and there's no problems, there's no split ends, there's nothing like that. And I'll explain maybe in another video how I actually do that, like what my hair routine is. I don't know if you care about that, but the last video I made about hair seemed to get a lot of attention. So yeah, the hard part is actually when you're first starting to grow your hair. And if you're doing this in summer, if you live in a hot country, for example, it's very uncomfortable when your hair starts to grow out, because you've got all these strands and it's just getting in your eyes, getting all over your face. That can be made easier if you wear a hat. So sometimes when I was growing my hair out, I would just actually wear a cap quite a lot of the time, until you get to the point where you can tie it up. Once you get to the point where you can tie your hair up, you've basically arrived, and from that point on it's hundreds of times easier, and it's not uncomfortable at all. I actually unfortunately was growing my hair out during the time where I was travelling quite a lot. So I was in Southeast Asia, and especially I remember in Cambodia when I was just starting to grow it, and it was just long enough to cover my eyes, but obviously not long enough to tie up. So I had this massively high humidity all around me. I was hiking, I was doing all this crazy stuff, and my hair was just very uncomfortable. So I ended up having to wear a hat almost the entire trip. And it was just obviously very uncomfortable, because my hair was just getting everywhere. It was very hot, very uncomfortable, hard to relax. But like I said, I wore a hat that entire time. So if you're growing your hair out and you're not sure what to do in the awkward stage, just wear a hat or tie it up, or what you can do is just wear an elastic headband, which will actually hold most of the hair back. That's what I did in Cambodia and Thailand, and it doesn't look too bad either. So then once you get about halfway, you will start to notice that your hair is fairly easy to manage. It becomes easier as time goes on, and it especially becomes easier once you can tie it up. And that stage can last anywhere from 6 months to a year. It really depends. Here's what I would say though. I didn't cut my hair once. I actually let my hair grow the entire time for a year and a half. And as you can see, I didn't keep a time lapse for the whole thing. I did keep a time lapse for the first few months. And as you can see, it grew very quickly. And the reason for that, I think, is because I didn't trim it. I just let it grow naturally. I would condition it. I would wash it less frequently. Most people wash their hair probably too much, and they strip away the natural oils and moisturising nutrients in the hair that you're actually secreting with your head. So I think if you just wash it slightly less often as you're growing it, it's going to be a lot easier to manage. And then once you get to the end goal, the end stage, which I assume for most of you is being able to tie it up like this, it's very easy to maintain. I don't have to comb it, I don't have to brush it. I literally just roll out of bed, tie up my hair, and I'm basically ready to go. And above all else, I'm going to end this video pretty soon, but it's basically a fun hairstyle to have. It's very low maintenance, in my opinion. You can spend more time and effort on it. For example, if you want to condition it and wash it 4 times a week, if you want to straighten it and do all of this crazy stuff. But if you just want to have it looking pretty good most of the time, you don't need to do much for it. At least I would argue that it's very low maintenance compared to when I used to have a fade. When I had a fade, I would cut my hair every week almost. Sometimes even twice a week if I really wanted to maintain that sharp look. But with this hairstyle, it's very easy to maintain, very low maintenance, and it's fun. It looks good in pictures, it looks good when it gets wet, it looks good when you whip it around. So yeah, if you're considering, should you grow long hair as a man, I would say 100% yes. The only difficulty, I guess, is if you're in a 9-to-5 job or something where you have to dress up smart every day, it can be difficult. You are going to look terrible for the first 6 months, probably more like 8 months. And that can be negated if you wear a hat or if you just basically become a hermit and just don't go out much. But you will look pretty bad and pretty messy for the first 6 months at least. So just bear that in mind. There is no way around that stage, by the way. Your hair needs to grow and it's very slow at doing that. The only way of making it go faster is to either have a time machine or just basically be patient. Don't cut it, even if it's tempting to cut it just to make it look nicer. Don't cut it at all, and wear a hat to sort of hold back that frizz when you first start growing it. So now I'm just going to show you a few, I guess, slow motion clips of me whipping my hair around. So if you liked this video, leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.
Baby, get lost in this moment, burning bright in the night sky. Said we could get lost in this moment, coming alive in the nighttime.
See you in the next video, guys. Make sure to subscribe, by the way.